What's up, everyone? Welcome to my show. This is, I guess, the second part or another part of tag video. I don't know how you want to call it. Two different things, I guess. I am lokigoblin13. Thanks to gimpy204 for doing this to me. Appreciate it. It was a lot of fun digging through stuff, but it's going to suck putting it back, so I agree. And Gimpy and I have a lot of similar comics, I guess. So I tried to grab stuff that were my favorites that maybe people haven't seen yet. I don't know. So there's a few in there that you might be like, really? But I like them. So that's what it's about. Your top 50 favorite comic books. As before the previous video, I did my top 50 Spider-Man, which I think there was more than that. Might have been less. I don't even count them. So, but this one I'm gonna do a little differently. It's gonna be pretty much random stuff anyway. But towards the end, like the last couple ones, those are like my top 50, like my number one, I guess, or you'll see. Anyway, we're gonna start off with some DC and other comic stuff, but this one is very special to me. Not just because of what it is, but I guess because who got it for me. My uncle, when I was a kid, realized I liked comic books, and he was buying a lot of random stuff. Just like he'd go to comic book stores because he worked in the city, and he would just go to different comic book stores, just pull stuff, and he's like, "Ah, it looks good, he'd get a whole assortment. Like every week, I would get this assortment of books from him that my uncle would drop off, and he's like, "Here you go," or I'd stop at my grandmother's house, and there'd be a package, and just tons of stuff. I'm like, "Oh my god." Me, I was kind of a dick. I'm not gonna say I wasn't, because I was like, I really don't like those that much, Uncle Mick. I like Marvel. I like Marvel more than anything else, because I did get a few DCs. I got, but a lot of mixed stuff, like not really anything Marvel. But once he heard that, like I said, my uncle was awesome. He passed away shortly after he gave me this book, actually. The following week after I said that, like I said, I was kind of a dick. I mean, I regretted, saying what I said. It wasn't mean. It was just kind of like, well, I really do like the books, I do, but I'm more of a Marvel guy. And he went out that next week and just got tons of Marvel stuff. But this one, I'm extremely happy to have. Like, I don't know if this is really true what this is, but everyone I keep hearing is. So this is San Diego Comic-Con comics. This is the first appearance of Hellboy, supposedly. Like I said, my uncle got this for me, so it's very, very cool. I think it's number 2. I mean, I've seen the cover dozens of times, but I don't know. I keep hearing this is his first appearance, but who knows. Here's another one. This one I bought from the comic book store way back when. And this is another one that's... Comics have gotten very confusing over the years, I guess. Like, for what's a first appearance, what's considered a cameo, and, it's nuts. I mean, to me, back then, this was the first appearance of this character. And if it is, it is. And if it isn't, it isn't. Doesn't matter. It's still number 1, and I still have it signed. Spawn number 1. Signed by Todd McFarlane. Very, very cool. And then I have number 9. Here's the first appearance of Angela. So that was a cool cover. Now she's in Marvel, so this might actually be a cool book to have. And these stories weren't bad, but I just loved them because they were cover swaps. This is Spawn is Amazing 221, which is a thing of Amazing Fantasy 15 or Amazing Spider-Man 252 cover swap. Kind of see it. Very cool. Spawn of the Dead, number 223. It's the Walking Dead cover swipe. Very, very cool. The Incredulous Spawn, number 226, which is a Incredible Hulk 340 cover swipe. Very cool. Spawn, number 227, which is Amazing Spider-Man 300 cover swipe. I love those 300s. Spawn Comics, what is this, number 228, which is a cover swipe of Action Comics number 1. And last for the Spawn, number 229, which I think is the cover swipe of the Incredible Hulk Annual, number 10, or I can't remember which one it was. Very cool. Now, moving on. Let's see. Hang on one sec. Keep that with that. More DC stuff. Now, everyone hates this, but I actually like him. I think he's kind of cool. So this is another one of the ones I never thought I'd really have, because I wasn't really into DC until like 2003, and that's when I just kind of was like, it's awesome. But it's Booster Gold number 1. It's his first appearance. It's in rough shape, but it's not really rough shape. I would say probably like a fine condition. But I'm happy to have this. I love Booster Gold. Sort of. He's like the Johnny Cage of the comic books. This is another one like I said, I wasn't really into DC, but once I got into DC, I started, like, you know, expanding. I'm like, who's this guy? Who's that guy? You know, really went into it. This character I absolutely love. He's one of my favorite DC characters. And this is his first appearance. This is Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, #1. Love Firestorm, and this is a good one to have now that that show is going to be popping up. Well, the fact that he was on The Flash, this thing kind of spiked a little bit, but now that he's getting his own show. This is another good one, especially with if you watch The Flash. I'm not going to give you any spoilers, but this is a good thing to have. This is Firestorm, Nuclear Man, #3, the first appearance of Killer Frost. Very cool. Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, the Fury of Firestorm, Nuclear Man, #1. This is his first, I guess, new issue or something. I don't know. The Fury of Firestorm, Nuclear Man, #7. This is the first appearance of c.r.a.c.k.a. Very, very cool. Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, #20. This is the first appearance of the second Killer Frost, I believe. Very cool. And last but not least, for Firestorm, this is the Fury of Firestorm, the Nuclear Man, #23, which is the first appearance of Felicity Smoke. So if you watch Arrow, you know who she is. She came out in Firestorm. Moving on. This is an awesome comic to have. I love it because I think the character's awesome. And again, like I said, when I got into DC, I was kind of... got this when I moved here to North Carolina. So I think... Maybe I didn't. No, I think I got it before him. I can't remember. Or did I? The Omega Man, #3, the first appearance of Lobo. I have it graded as a 9.0. Kind of see it glare. Sorry about that. There you go. Very cool. Now, this one is very special in a lot of ways. So you're going to get a lot of stories behind this stuff. This is the Death of Superman issue. This is an unopened copy, which is really, really rough shape. I got tape on everything, and I mean, it's never been opened, but it's just really rough. What's special about this? Well, it's the Death of Superman. That was a big thing. I was still in the comics then. Like, I was still in my comic store when I moved to Lindenhurst in New York. Bailey's, that was like the comic store I was going to when I first moved there. I was like, oh, awesome, there's a comic store actually in walking distance, which was near my high school, my junior high. And I remember telling my mother, like, weeks before, I was like, oh my god, they're going to kill Superman. She's like, what? I was like, they're going to kill Superman. And like I said, I wasn't in the DC back then. I really wasn't. But the Death of Superman was like one of those big things. It was all over the news. You know, all these things are going to kill a major character. And I told Mom, I was like, I have to get that book. I have to get it. And I remember when I went into Bailey's, I was like, you know, how can I, you know, I want to get this book. Hang on one second, I need a drink. Man, starting to lose my voice from talking so much. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to limit it one per person so that everyone gets kind of a shot. And I remember the day it was coming out, I wasn't going to be in school, and I'm like, crap, I'm never going to be able to get this. And I told my mom, I was like, and she's like, well, I can't get it. You know, I'm not going to have a chance to get it. You know, I have to go to work. I have to do all these things. It's just not going to happen. So she's like, we'll get it, you know, to the next day or something. Then I'm like, it's not going to be around. It's going to be gone. It's never going to be there. So I remember the week before I started saving my lunch money. Because I'm on the off chance that I got out of school. Because I kept telling Mom, I was like, pull me from school. Let me stay home and I'll go get it. She's like, no, you're not doing that. So the off chance that I could get it after school, I kept saving my lunch money for a week. So I didn't eat anything. I didn't get any drinks, nothing. I just kept my money so I could have the money. Because this was like, I think like $5 or something like that, I think. I was like, I want to get it. So the day that this came out, I just kept watching the clock at school. I wasn't paying attention to anything. I'm like, tick, 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 tick. You ever get that one where the time goes backwards? You're like, oh, wait a minute. But the second that last bell rang, I flew out the door. Like, literally flew. Like, I ran nonstop to the comic store, which was like maybe like a 15-minute walk. Got there, and I was like, I need the Death of Superman. And one of the managers had pulled it. He's like, yeah, I got you one. I'm like, I was like, oh, and I just threw the money. I was like, here you go. And he's like, all right, cool. So I grabbed it. I ran home, and I get home, and I get to in my room, and I'm like, I got one. Oh my god. And I look on my desk, and then there's this, and I'm like, what the hell? I was like, look at my, wait a minute. I was like, what? Huh? And my mom comes, she's like, I got you that book. She goes, I left work early, and I got the book. I picked it up, and I was like... So I kept hers sealed, and I opened mine. But I'm actually going to upgrade this. I might actually open this one down the line if I get an upgrade copy of a sealed one. Um, just because I remember, I mean, I still have the armband, but I don't have any of the other things that came with it. And I wanted to have it like kind of open, complete, and display it. And then have like one that's sealed, like a better version, I guess. I don't know if that's, you know, because you can kind of see it. It's ripping open anyway, so it's still sealed, but yeah. Anyway, here's another book I never thought I'd own because I love this character. This is his first appearance. This is showcase number 73, the first appearance of the Creeper. Very, very cool. I'm so happy that I found this and got it cheap. This one is the oldest Batman I have. It doesn't have anything like significant. I just thought the cover was hysterical. And plus it's the oldest Batman I got it for. What I got it for, I think I paid like $2. It was worth it. Batman number 174. I just thought that cover for some reason was just hysterical. I was like, really? This is another book I got from the comic book store when I started working there. I had seen this, and I don't remember if I even read it. I just got it for what it had, and I remember the comic book store wanted like $10 for it, and I was like talking about it to $5. This is before I started working there. This is Detective Comics number 637, but it's got original artwork of Batman from Jim Fern, I think his name is. And I was like, oh my god. So that's really, really cool. I don't think anybody has this, especially like that. So there's one for you. Moving on to Marvel. These aren't, like, the covers aren't that great. Well, some of them are, but they're just really awesome storylines, so they're in my favorite thing. Marvel Holiday Special number 1. This was fantastic. It was amazing. It was just crazy Christmas stories, but just really, really good. I really want to get an upgraded copy because this one's kind of rough. But just a really cool book, which is tons of awesome stories. So if you want like stories that really don't, not that they don't mean anything, but have no impact on anything, but they're cool, you'll like this. This is what got me into What If. This is What If Wolverine Battled Conan the Barbarian number 16. Just amazing, amazing cover. This actually might even be one of the ones that got me into Wolverine, actually. Well, this one and some other one I'll show you. Just love that cover, and when I read it, I was like, that's amazing. Very, very cool. Let's see. Where are we going? Alright, let's try these. Fantastic Four number 348, the first appearance of the new Fantastic Four, which was just amazing, which Wolverine, Grey Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Spider-Man. Just an awesome cover. Awesome book. I gotta upgrade it though, because it's got a lot of, it's tanning, I guess. So, down the line. This is another one with actually a pretty cool storyline, and everyone loves these Guardians of the Galaxies now, but this is the older versions. Number 39, where they have Wolverine's skeleton gets taken over by Dr. Doom's mind, and he tries killing people. It's one of those 90s covers, which is very cool. It's another one. These are starting to go up, and I'm amazed I have it. I found it at a Comic-Con. Mighty Thor number 411, which is the first appearance of Night Thrasher. And of course got the Juggernaut in it, so it's a twofer. And number 412, which is the first appearance of the New Warriors. Love the New Warriors. Very cool. I heard they might actually be getting their own show or movie. That would be interesting. And then here's New Warriors number 1. Very cool. I almost have all the New Warriors. I think I'm missing like 3 issues, and I'll have all of them, so very cool. Moving on, we're going to do some Daredevil. Daredevil, I know Gimpy showed this, but Daredevil 131, the first appearance of Bullseye. Awesome stuff, or as the humans say, awesome sauce. This one I had gotten from Midtown Comics back in the day. It is pretty dirty, and it's got writing on it, but for the price I paid, I really can't bitch and complain, but it's Daredevil 181, I think this is the Death of Elektra. Of course, got a big old number, was that 33 or something, I don't know, scribble marks on there. But, hey, you know, what the hell. I think I paid like $5 for it or something, so whatever. This is Daredevil 200, where he basically kills Bullseye or paralyzes him, something like that. Just an insane cover. Very cool. This one's another one. It's a variant. This is the first appearance of, I think, of Lady Bullseye. Daredevil number 111. Just love that cover. Moving on. Captain America number 241. Another cool storyline, but awesome, awesome cover. Punisher's just like, yeah, I got you. Trying to do these kind of quick. This is amazing. I'm sorry, this is Captain America 343. I do have 2 of these. This one is signed by an unknown artist. I have no idea. I remember This was like the second time I ever went to a comic book store with my cousin, or in general, and there was some artist there signing books, and I don't even know if he was a Captain America artist. I just grabbed a book to have him sign because it was free, but you know I paid the 75 cents for the comic. And I remember my cousin was getting a lot of different books signed by him, so I don't know if he did Captain America, and I don't remember his name and the signature. I could barely read it, so it's signed, but I don't know by who. I do remember him saying this isn't his book. So I don't know if he's even a Captain America artist. Whatever. This is another one. Never thought I'd have. Got it really, really cheap. It's got some, you know, issues. Well, not issues. It's, I would say maybe, probably fine condition. But this is Iron Man number 128, the Demon in the Bottle storyline. Very, very cool. Got it for like I think like $3 or something like that. It's another character I actually started really getting into. I have almost all his issues. I think I'm missing like 2 or 3 books. The later issues. This is Darkhawk number 1, which is supposed to be his first appearance. Like I said, this is how it gets kind of confusing, because now they're claiming Marvel Age number 99, I think it is his first appearance, because they show him at the end of the thing saying this is Darkhawk. I don't know. I mean, to me, this is his first appearance. I am looking for the Marvel Age one, so we'll see. I've seen it a couple times, but it's just way too pricey. This I have all 4 issues. It's a limited series. It sucks they never went anywhere with it. But it was just a really, really cool comic. So if you can get these cheap, which I'm sure you can, it actually is worth it. They're actually really cool. It's the Awesome Slapstick number 1. I have all 4 of them, which I was going to show you, but you know what the hell, just do the one. But try to get these if you like just weird stuff. That's it. It's an awesome book. The last issue he fights pretty much. Well, doesn't fight, but he goes against all the Marvel Universe. So it's pretty cool. Here's another one that is actually a really interesting story. Alpha Flight Special, 92. Wolverine leads Alpha Flight on their first mission. It's a really cool storyline. Well, story special, whatever you want to call it. This is another book which I thought was too good to be true, which apparently it wasn't. It actually is the real one. And again, another book I never thought I'd have. I kind of snaked this for a really low price. It's in kind of rough shape, but I always go by the fact if you can't get the first appearance, go for the second, because, you know, it's almost as good. And nowadays, I think the second appearances are going just as much as the first. But this is Marvel Spotlight number 6, the second appearance of the original Ghost Rider. Well, Johnny Blaze's Ghost Rider. So very, very cool. Got that really cheap. Very happy, and I'm like, that's got to be a fake. And I looked up, I was like, it's the real one. So here's the first appearance of the newer Ghost Rider. This was Dan Ketch. This is Ghost Rider number 1. It's another one I never thought I'd have because it kept, when I was a kid, it kept going up and down, up and down, up and down. I never could afford it. I found this at a mall. They had like a little kiosk there. I was selling comics, and I got this really cheap, and I actually got it signed by Mark Texeria, who drew a little Ghost Rider in the flames right there, which is pretty cool. So there's number 1. It's a near mint. Definitely near mint. It's just insanely high-grade book. Here's number 3. This is the first print of Blackout, and I have this one signed as well. Kind of see it up there. Oh, where is it? I hate this camera. Right there. Did the little Ghost Rider thing, signed it. But first print of Blackout, very cool. These I have multiple copies of, because originally I thought this was the, I'll tell you, this is the original one. This is Ghost Rider number 15. It's a black cover. It glows in the dark, which was amazing back then. You're like, oh my god, that's awesome. This is the original. This one took a long time to find because I didn't know it. I'll tell you. I'd gotten this one. This is the second printing of number 15. It's a gold cover. Glows in the dark. I thought this was the original printing. It took me years to find out that this was the first one. This was the second. So there's that. And I have another copy of the second printing, but I have this one signed. Kind of see it without the glare. Again, by Mark Texeria. Very, very cool, and that's why I went out and got another one, because I was like, I love having it signed, but I want to have one that's not signed. So, multiple copies. Alright, moving on. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. Let's do some Wolverines. Another special comic. This is Wolverine Limited Series number 1. I mentioned this thing a long time ago. Every time I show this. This I got at a comic book convention. My father got it for me. It's the first comic, I think the last comic, first and last comic he ever got me. He never messed with my comics, never did, but he would never buy them. Like, he would never be like, I'm giving you money for that. But this was different. I was like, Dad, this is his first, you know, thing. His first solo series, which really wasn't. It's a limited series. They were testing the waters, I guess. This was $20, you know, back in, I think I got it in 91 or 92. I've told the story a million times, but this is just really cool to have. I mean, it's not in rough shape. It's got some like bumps here and there, but that's other than that, it's in great shape. Um, but just the fact that my father got this, which is it makes it even more amazing, and the fact that, you know, like I said, it was the first and last comic he ever got me. Like he would never, he wouldn't not only he wouldn't give me money for comics, he would give me my allowance, but he would never flat out go out and be like, all right, I'm buying that for you. Well, comic wise, I mean, he used to buy toys. Even toys, he kind of got iffy. Like he very rarely bought me toys. My mother was always the one who got me the toys. But he would buy the video games. He would buy video games, and he would buy me the books for the video games. He was very cool about that. You know, if I got a video game, or if I was playing an arcade and I was getting my ass kicked, I was like, yeah, I need to get this book. I need to read this. He's like, all right, let's go get it. And not even a, you know, not even a stall. Just, Dad, I got the book. I got the game. I'm getting my. All right, let's go get the book. Well, you know where it is? Yeah, let's go. Let's go get it. He didn't matter what he was doing. He would just get up. We would go. We would get the book. He's like, is that the right one? Yeah. All right, let's go. You know, there's no, you know, it was no like dilly dallying. It was just kind of you get in there, you get the book, let's go. But as long as you have it, you know, and then I don't know why he was just like that with that. I don't know what it was. I don't know. Maybe he liked me, like watching me kicking the crap out of people in the arcade, or beating my friend at the home versions. I don't know. I really don't. But hey, it worked in my favor. This one is in near mint or mint status. I'm gonna say this is the closest book I've ever had to a mint condition book in my life. I took it out once just to check it to make sure it wasn't in anything. Like I even put gloves on, because when I saw this in the comic book store, I was like, that thing is insanely great shape. But for me, I would say it's mint, or the closest thing. Like if there was a 9.9 point blah 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 or something like that, this would be it. This is Wolverine #1. Just in amazing, amazing high grade condition. This is probably the only book I ever had that's in that kind of state. Which is also the first appearance of Yukio, if you want to have a little trivia. This I actually really want to get graded, but I'm kind of like worried. I'm like, I know if I have this graded, watch it be like come back as a 9.8 or a 9.0, which I'd be happy with. But just a really, really cool high grade version of it that I got in a comic book store, which is very rare. This is another cool storyline, but I love the cover. Wolverine #8. Just love that cover. It's amazing. This one, Gimpy showed, but I'm going to show it too because I love it. Wolverine #10. This, I believe, is the first time, because Gimpy was wondering what was so special about it. This, I believe, is the first time Wolverine actually fights Sabretooth. I don't know if it's the first time they met, but I think it's the first time they fight. This is Wolverine #47. This is just a great, well, it's a cool cover, but it's just a really great story. So if you like really cool Wolverine stories, this is a good one to have. This is another one, cool cover, but great story. Wolverine #48. Just really, really cool story. Let's keep with the X-Men, shall we? This is another book I never thought I would have. Never thought. But again, like I said, if you can't get the first appearance, go for the second. X-Men #13, the second appearance of the Juggernaut, who is my favorite X-Men villain of all time. Just to have this, I mean, whenever I go through my comics, this is the oldest X-Men book I have, I just go, just, oh, one day I will have his first appearance, #12, and one day I will have Amazing Spider-Man #14, the first Green Goblin. They are on my list. Once I get this whole house thing settled, I'm saving up, and I'm going after those two books, hardcore. This book is another one. This is one of my favorites, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in this list. I was a little disappointed because I got kind of gypped, but X-Men #19, the first appearance of Mimic, which is probably in good shape. I would probably say like maybe a good minus, especially with what happened. Got this really cheap, and this is why you have to really be aware and watch why you get books really cheap. I kept judging, I'm like, why is it so cheap? Why is it cheap? I kept asking the guy questions. You know, is it the real book? Is it? Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, is everything fine with it? Yeah, everything's great. When I got it home, when I got it in the package in there, I looked at it. I was like, oh my god, it's the real one. But when you get to the middle of the book, it's got a whole page cut, like a coupon cut out, and it actually has on the back of the book, it says half ad page cut out, story complete though. So the guy basically lied to me. He said it was complete, but it's got rips and stuff like that. You know, like, well, the tear out. So down the line, I'll probably try to get this upgraded, but for right now, it's good to have. This one, another awesome cover, but a really awesome storyline. I love the old Uncanny X-Men with Byrne, John Byrne. I do have a few of the X-Men signed by him. I love his Wolverine. That's my favorite Wolverine. But this is Uncanny X-Men 122, The Trial of Colossus. This one goes for a lot of money now. I don't know why. I really... I don't know. If you know, let me know. But, oh, there's the wife. She's after me. But just cool stuff. Just cool storyline. Cool cover. This is another one. This is an awesome storyline. Awesome cover again with Byrne. Uncanny X-Men 133, Wolverine versus the Hellfire Club. Just awesome stuff. These are great to have, especially when the movie came out. This was, but just awesome storyline. Uncanny X-Men number 141, the Days of Future's End, or whatever the hell it is. I forget what it is. But a lot of people just get this because of the story, but they also don't realize it's the first appearance of the second Phoenix. It's the first appearance of Pyro, and it's the first appearance of Avalanche. There you go. Little trivia. And what's that book without this one? So number 142, The Death of Wolverine in the Future. Alrighty, this is another one. Like I said, I love the Juggernaut, so here you go. But this was just a really cool story. I love when the X-Men just kind of aren't on a mission. They're just kind of like, doing whatever. But this is Uncanny X-Men 183. Just a really, really cool story. And of course, Colossus vs. Juggernaut is amazing. It's another one. Another awesome one. Uncanny X-Men 194. Just very, very cool. Great book. X-Men, Uncanny X-Men 213. This I originally thought was the first time Wolverine fought Sabretooth, but apparently it wasn't. But very cool. Gotta have this one. Eventually I'll upgrade it because it's got a couple bumps here and there, but Uncanny X-Men 266, the first Gambit. Technically, I mean, again, this is where it comes into, play with the annual number 10. Stuff like that. Excuse me, hiccups. But very cool. Still great to have. This one is another awesome cover. This is by Jim Lee, but it's just an awesome story too. Uncanny X-Men 268. Very, very cool. Another awesome one to have, number 275. Just a really, really cool storyline with the Shadow King. And I think it's that's actually not the first one, or it is. The first time they have the gold and blue armor suit. I don't know. I can't remember. But here's 277. Gambit versus Wolverine. Very cool. X-Men number 4, the first Omega Red. Very, very cool. Maybe one day I'll upgrade, because a lot of these are from when I was a kid, when I didn't bag and board them. Sacrilege. Number 8, just a really awesome storyline. This is the first time Bishop joins the X-Men. And the first appearance of Belladonna, which is Gambit's wife. Moving on. Moving on. Alright, this is another book I had gotten because I love the character. But I remember getting the card in the Marvel Universe. I'm like, oh, that's an awesome issue. Nightcrawler's Limited Series, number 1. I do have all 4 issues, which is cool. But just a cool comic. Gambit, number 1. Another interesting thing. I never thought he'd get his own series, but there it is. This is another book that I think actually is one of the reasons I got into Wolverine and the X-Men, really. Classic X-Men number 30. Just love that cover. Amazing cover. Very, very cool. It reprints, I think, when they go to Murder World. But that's just awesome. This is, I think, that might have been the second or third book I ever got. This is another book that was supposed to change the world, I guess. Everyone thought this was going to be like one of those $1 million books. X-Men 2099, number 1. Just like Spider-Man 2009. It's up with the blue. Very cool. Alright, these I have 3 copies of because I actually wanted to get one signed but never got around to it. This is the first printing, New Mutants number 100, which is the first print of X-Force. There's 1 copy. I got 2 copies of it. And then, of course, here's the third printing, which I thought this was the original first printing. And then I found out it wasn't because I got it really cheap. I'm like, why is that so cheap? Why is it only $1 at a comic store? And then I realized it's the third printing. This is the first printing. So you got first and third. Still a very cool book to have, especially now. I think they're announcing that they're having an X-Force movie. There you go. This is New Mutants Annual number 2. This is supposed to be the first appearance of c.r.a.c.k.a, but it's actually, well, her first U.S. appearance. I don't know if it's her first appearance of c.r.a.c.k.a or the first appearance of Betsy Braddock. Because, again, another confusing thing. I think it's X-Men 256 supposed to be her first appearance of Psylocke as Psylocke. I don't know. Anyway, gotta throw these in there because, again, these are books I never thought I'd have, and the fact that I got them signed is another one I never thought it would ever happen, because this guy never really does conventions. But New Mutants number 87, the first appearance of Cable, and I have it signed by Rob Liefeld. Very, very cool. This thing's in near mint shape. Gonna get it graded soon, hopefully. And here's 98, first Deadpool. It's also the first appearance of, I think, Domino and Gideon and all those characters. And of course, like I said, I have it signed right over there by Rob Liefeld. This thing's in near mint state. And it's also the newsprint edition, which is now sold after. So very cool. I actually want to get this one graded too. But the funny thing is, everyone's like, oh, it's the first appearance of Domino, which it technically is, but it's really copycat. But you don't know that until later on, until X-Force number 11, when they have the real Domino show up. So I don't know if that's her first appearance, because technically they consider that the first real appearance of Domino. I don't know how. Like I said, it's getting confusing. Here's another one. This character I just think is funny. But New Mutants number 29 is the first appearance of Strong Guy from X Factor. Very cool. Weird cover. Keeping with that, here's X Factor number 70. This is when the old team leaves and the new team is announced, which came around in 71. It's very cool stuff. Gotta have X Factor number 24, the first appearance of Archangel. I love Archangel. He's one of my favorite X-Men. So I had to get that. Got it cheap too. X Factor number 1. Gotta have that. Great book. Trying to get all of them. I think I'm missing like 3 or 4 issues. I do have the first Apocalypse, but I didn't pull it. People are like, yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. Moving on. Wolverine First Class number 1. I think I'm missing 2 of these issues. But this is just a really cool series. I just really loved it. It actually made you feel like you were back in the 80s. It's very, very cool. This is... Actually, probably should have put that one. Alright, so this one's kind of out of whack, but I'll show that one in a second. This is a reprint. This is Incredible Hulk and Wolverine number 1. This is a reprint of 181. I originally had this back in the day, but what the hell was it? When I moved for like the billionth time, a lot of my books were either destroyed, ripped into pieces. You know, I don't know what happened. A lot of them, some of them I lost. But a couple years ago, my cousin actually gave this to me. He's like, "Oh, I found this. Did you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I actually got it back, which was really cool. So this is reprinting 181. Very cool. This should have been with my other one, but I also put it with this because it's just awesome to have. I do have the whole series of Volume 1. I love it. What makes this cool is not only is it a number 1, but where I got it. This is Web of Spider-Man number 1. I got this from Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in New Jersey. I saw it. I was like, oh my god, is that Web of Spider-Man number 1? And it was pretty cheap. So I was like, you know, is that the price? He's like, yeah. I was like, oh, can I get it? He's like, no problem. So Walter Flanagan got it for me. And Mike Zapsek, I think his name is. No, Walter rang me up and Mike got it. But just very cool to have. And plus, that was I think one of the... Actually, it's not the last one I needed, but I have them all now. Moving on. To some Holy Grail comics, I guess. This is the last of them. Let me just see what I got here. Just want to... Alright, very cool. Alright, so we're going to go in somewhat of an order here. This I didn't even know existed until I found it on the Free Comic Book Day. I saw it, and it was $2, so it was worth it, but I don't even know... I guess this is his first series. Wonder Man number 1, which I didn't even know existed. Because I got this one, Wonder Man number 1, back in the 90s, and I thought this was his only series, but apparently it's not. So I got the 2 of them. I almost have all the Wonder Man number 1s of this series. I think I'm missing like 3 issues or 4 issues. So very cool. Like I said, getting into the Holy Grail of comics, the Holy Grail stuff. This I never thought I'd have. It is in somewhat rough shape, but for what I paid for it, I was very happy with it. And again, I'm a really big Wonder Man fan. I don't know why. I just like him. He's probably one of my favorite superheroes in there, like towards the bottom. But you know, he's in there. If I had a top 10, he'd be in there. I don't know why, but I just think he's cool, and I do have some reason why, which I'm going to get into because it'll be my last comic I show you. But that might be why. I don't know. Maybe it's subconscious. I don't know. But this is Avengers number 9, the first appearance of Wonder Man. Awesome, awesome stuff. Love it. Love it so much. Alright, I got 3 comics left. So my top 3. And it's also 2 of the books, like I said, I never thought I would ever have. And they're graded on top of that. But, and then my favorite of all the comics, I'll get into it, but let me do number 3 here. It is, Gimpy showed this, but I have it as well. Iron Fist number 14, it's 7.0. The first appearance of Sabretooth. Just amazing, amazing. And I have it graded, which is cool. I also have the milestone one, so I could read it. So, very cool. Keep that one sealed. Let's move this over. And this is number 2. There's a reason this is number 2 and not number 1. Because technically this probably would be one of my Holy Grail comics. But my absolute Holy Grail comic to have would be either Amazing Spider-Man number 14, First Goblin, or X-Men number 12, First Juggernaut. But this is like right in there, so like if I had to, you know, it's so hard. But just to have this, like again, this is just one of those books I never thought I would ever own in my life, and I got it, and it's just amazing to have it, even if it's such a low grade. Just to have it, Incredible Hulk 181. This is the first full appearance of Wolverine. Oh yeah, good stuff. Moving on to my favorite comic out of the top 50. Now, people are going to say I'm crazy for this. They're going to be like, why do you have that as your number 1? Why is that your number 1? There's a reason. This, like I said, this might be the reason why Wonder Man is one of my favorite characters. It is the West Coast Avengers number 36, and as you can see, Wonder Man is on the cover. Why is this my number 1? This is the book that got me into comic books. That is why it's my favorite. Because of that. Like I mentioned the story a long time, many times. I went to a comic book store with my cousin. I wasn't into it. I was like, this is stupid. Why are we going here? He was always into comics, like really into it, like hardcore. And he bought his comics. I wasn't paying any attention. I'm like, are there any toys in here? There really wasn't. I was just like, you know. We got back to his grandmother's house, and he was looking through them. I'm like, oh my god. I was like, what is that? He's like, oh, West Coast Avengers number 36. And I'm like, yeah, who are they? And he started going over them. And I was kind of look at it. He's like, yeah, go ahead. So I looked at it. He said, just be careful, because you know he was very adamant, like don't bend anything. You know how it, yeah, you know how it is. And I read it. I'm sitting there. He was reading his other books. I read this one, and this thing just, I was like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's just a really cool story. The characters are things I've never seen before. Like I always knew what the Hulk was, and Spider-Man. But this got me into it. This is the book that did it, and this is why it's number 1 of my favorites, because it just, that's what did it. And I also did get an upgraded copy, because this one is rough. Like I said, I read this one so many times, and like I said, it was almost like, it was crazy getting it from my cousin, because he's like, yeah, you can have it, you know. I mean, it's got like old dirt marks everywhere. I mean, it made all the moves I've ever made. It came with me. So there you go. There's that, and like I said, I have an upgraded version, a fine condition one. But I would never get rid of this. Never sell it, even though I have a double. Like I said, I would never sell it. This is still considered my reading copy, and this one I just keep to the side. I almost have all the West Coast Avengers. I think I'm missing another like 3 or 4 issues, a couple of annuals. So, but that will do it. Extremely long thing. Thank you, Gimpy204, you sick bastard. I went ahead and did it. I mentioned in the other video, if you watched it, if you want to make a video like this and you haven't been tagged, consider yourself tagged. Go out there, look through your comics, find which ones you like. I would say, you know, it says you also do 50, you know, your favorite stuff. I mean, hey, if you only got 20, you got 20, go ahead. And if it makes you happy, you want to make the video, consider yourself tagged, go ahead and do it. I always like when people let me know if I tag somebody and they watch the video like, oh, you know, I did a tag video. So if you watch my stuff and you want to do it and you consider yourself tagged, let me know, because I love to watch the video, because I go through so many videos I don't always get a chance to know who did what to where, and it's just fun to watch them. So anyway, thank you again, Gimpy204, and remember, it's not the size of your cave that matters, it's what you have in it. And now you've seen a few of my favorite comics. Later, everyone.